or I'm to read my last poem, will someone get my attention? Because I'm just going to free flow here. Back and forth he paced, the hard heels of his boots digging into the concrete, echoing his anger, the anger that brought him to this halfway house. His recently grown Nietzschean mustache shielded nibbling lips, but nothing concealed the despair in his eyes as he walked off his Thorizine disguise. We used to live next to a halfway house. And it may be the great saints of the world are there on Thorizine. Yeah. So if you're looking for the next great saint, he's probably on the back ward of some mental hospital. A short story? Can I be a short story? Short.
Pictures?
This is called The Blackout. I'm a confessional poet. You probably figured it out, right? You know, I'm really not an academic poet that fits their word salad into certain forms. I'm someone who goes out there and live. So, I didn't borrow my insanity from anyone else. The Blackout. Mike didn't believe me when I told him how he was that he drank. He called me a liar. Said he always remembered what he did. I told him he would personally kill anyone who treated me the way he treated me when he was drunk. He vowed to stay awake, to remember this time. He bought a case of beer that very night, saying, I'm no alcoholic. I only drink beer, and that after 5. Well into the second half of the case of beer and the second pack of Camels, his eyes changed. The shades dropped. And across from me at the kitchen table sat the other Mike. He was a strong man and refused to pass out. He was still on his feet when most men would have been down for the count. Sure enough, he remembered I had the audacity to accuse him that very day of being an alcoholic abuser. The evening had started as usual with stories told so often I could lip sync to them. Same action, same tentative confessions, as though he never told me that before, beginning with the war in Korea and the heroism of the Airborne Rangers, his company, and then he'd go back to prison, tell me how tough he was, how he pumped iron, did 700 push-ups daily, and never kissed another guy. For 8 years, he never kissed another guy, even though the other guys did. Well, there was this once in the chapel, after 6 years in the penitentiary. But they were alone. No one saw anyone would have done it once. Then he turned ugly. You never blink. Never. You just sit there and stare at me accusingly. Say something, damn it! I'll make you blink. He took a knife out of his pocket, started throwing it at the wall behind my head, yelling, blink, damn it, blink! When my nerves snapped, I ran for the front door. But he caught me in the living room, held the knife to my throat for what seemed like hours. He said, I only knew one other psychotic who stared like that. He was a lifer, serving time for murder, cold-blooded killer. You're just like him. You never blink. I stared him back away from my throat, showing no anger, no emotion, afraid to show fear, knowing better than to feed the ugly. I said Hail Marys behind my eyes. Not because I was Catholic, but because he was. Next day, he remembered everything. He was repentant, said he'd never drink again, and that he was so sorry, but sober. He was still cruel, demanding, possessive, and now boring. So I left him. Now I blink more frequently and scrutinize potential lovers more closely, helping to weed out the lethal ones who could kill me in a blackout and not even remember the next day.